For the pause, I want to introduce one of the finance module in Acumatica app, the journal entries. When you utilize Acumatica software, you can be able to do some function that you can save your time and also improve your maximum in the financial periods. First, was pay access from anywhere, anytime, including making journal entry to general ledger account. And also, Acumatica gives some option for customized workflows and business processes to meet specific needs. Smart reporting for efficient order entry. And also, Acumatica have the entry in multiple
As you can see, Acumatica can easily view all the transactions that you need to find out in your financial periods. And also, Acumatica can give you a function that you can create a new transaction by click the plus item. Acumatica control entries by the batch number, and when you click the batch number lookup, you can see a list of all the journal entry that you have been entered into the queue. You can add the day of the financial period that you need and also the post periods and the description. In the transaction detail section, you can enter individual line item and indicate that you don't know the appropriate account. Click the search icon and you can see the correct account that you need and also the information about the sub account and the data of the debit amount and credit amount. In the final step, you press the save button and to save the transaction. And as you can see, the status of the transaction is balanced. It means you can release the transaction into the transaction ported to the general ledger. When you port the transaction, you can see the budget by going to the account summary screen and look at the detail of one of the accounts.
To summarize, Acumatica provides a web-based journal entry process so multiple people can work multiple locations while using the same basic resource. There are several options to define the business rules and procedure, allowing you to tailor the system according to the needs of your business. First, I will open the invoice and memo screen in the account receivable module. Next, I select the time invoice and select the customers by click the magnifying glass by the customer ID. Notice that each customer can belong to the specific class. Based on this class identifier, many fields are automatically populated, so I do not have to enter the payment term, tax information, earliest payment discounts, and other information. Line items are entered in the detail section. I can enter a transaction description, quantity, payment rate, and change the default code. I can also tap a new line to enter in additional line items on the invoice information in the another tab so that the taxable amount and sale commission is automatically calculated and to sign the correct ledger code if necessary. I can override the default value. After I finish entering my invoice information, I can either place the transaction on hold or allow it to be paused and processed. When I save the invoice, the system automatically assigns a reference number. Using this reference number, I can find and release my transaction. In this case, I will release and pause the transaction in the one step. But in more complex workflows, different people in my organization could be responsible for the different actions. to see on current and past invoice that I have created for the customer. I can go to the customer detail incurrence screen and I can drill down to an individual invoice to see more details. So from the screen, I can revert the invoice, return to the customer detail screen, and run addition reports. I can prepare an invoice to send to the customer using the invoice memo form in the account receivable reports area. Once created, I can send an invoice to the customer by printing it and sending it on email. I also have an option create in PDF file for saving and
Acumatica
printing.
improve the speed and accuracy of your invoicing process by pre-populating fields and accounts code. Customer Classy allows you to apply changes across a large number of clients without having to manually update all records. And more importantly, Acumatica is web-based, so you can enter and review invoices from anywhere. Acumatica allow me to electronically import pills or enter them manually using the pills enhancement screen. When I add a vendor that does several fields including the terms and payment methods are populated based on the vendor defaults. To enter line item details, I can select an existing purchase order or enter changes manually. If needed, I can override the default account, subaccount, and task category. Once created, I have the option to set up a recurring schedule to perform a predictable action such as paying rent. In this case, I will only pay a single bill. When I'm ready, I remove the whole status so my bill can be released. Acumatica allows me to designate the different people with the permission to create bill, remove the whole status, release bill, and make payment to simplify the demonstration. As using the single account with permission to do all of these things, now my bill is ready for approval and payment. I can pay bill individually from the bills and adjustment screen. Or I can use my processing screen to first approve, then prepare, and then release purchase of payment. To approve appeals, I navigate to the Approve Appeals for Payment screen and set my filtering criteria. To approve, I simply check the box and say, approval only requires if selected in the Accounts Payable Setup screen. When approved, I prepare payments according to the payment method. In this case, I select a payment method of check, choose my card account, and enter appropriate filtering condition. I can issue one check for several transactions or pay them individually. After processing the payment, the print check screen is automatically displayed since I selected to pay per check. After printing the check or saving it as a PDF for future printing, I taken to the release payment screen. In this case, there are several transactions waiting for payment, so I selected the bills that I want to process. By releasing the check, I am giving final approval for payment and updating the balance sheet in account payable and general ledger. From the vendor detail screen, I can review the transaction related to the specific vendor. In this case, I go back to the previous bill and attach an Excel spreadsheet which provides supporting documentation. Acumatica provides integrated credit card processing for the collection of customers' payments. Acumatica has two processing methods. Tokenized processing works by sharing a unit identified with a credit card processor, so charges can be processed without storing credit card number in Acumatica. Non-tokenized processing involves storing encrypted credit card information in Acumatica. In both cases, recurring and non-recurring charges can be managed. Acumatica supports many options for credit card processing. In this example, I'll demonstrate how to process an individual transaction for the customer with
on
a
the sell
credit
order
card
screen,
on
I
file.
enter a simple transaction. The transaction could have been imported from e-commerce site or an internal system. On the payment setting tab, I see the information on file for this customer. At the time of the order, I can pre-authorize payment for the amount of the transaction. In this case, I'm processing a test transaction, so I'll be capturing payment. I have enabled the option to email a receipt to the billing contact on the customer amount. This email shows up in the customer inbox following the successful processing. To set up this process, I established an account with a processing center set at authorized and enter the information into Acumatica. Define the accepted payment methods and linking them to my processing center. Each payment method can be used in accounts payable and account receivable. Acumatica provides screen and report to the handle common process within account process post transaction on the general payment or capture payment screen. I can schedule the system to notify customer whose credit card are about to expire on speeding card screen. On the payment methods transaction history screen, I can view failed transaction and easily reprocess them. I can review process transaction on the payment processing log. Acumatica also provides the ability to manually enter a credit card's payment authorization. Obtained by calling a processing center, this information can be entered directly on the payment and application screen using the action menu. Centralized payment. Acumatica allows you to pay bill centrally and allocate expenses to other operating entities. In these videos, I will demonstrate how to make a single branch payment and allocate expenses evenly over 4 different branches. To begin, I set up in allocation to automatically distribute expenses to other branches. In this case, I created a simple percentage allocation for my rental accounts, but I could have created my allocation based on dynamic criteria such as monthly revenues or employee headcount. To ensure my branch ledger stay in balance, I set up automate inter-branch transaction. In the main branch, the system will create an asset to offset the liability created by my pending bills payment. In the branch not paying in the bills, the system will set up an intercompany liability. To offset the allocated expense with settled complex, I can quickly create a transaction and view the result. First, I enter the bill for my rent payment using my normal billing process in accounts payable. After I release my bills, I run the allocation. When the allocation is complete, I verify the intercompany transaction that have been created. When these transactions are released, the system automatically creates the transaction needed to balance the branch ledger. At any time, I can process the payment to the vendor and manage interbranch payment.